This is the Greg Bedard Patriots Podcast with Nick Cattles.
He's Greg. I'm Nick. This is the Greg Bedard Patriots Podcast with Nick Cattles, brought to you by our friends at, of course, Athletic Greens. One-stop shopping, 75 high-quality vitamins to help you start your day right. We start at the quarterback position today. I was reading some of your notes, and I felt a familiar feeling as I was watching the game on Sunday, as you explained how you felt and described how you felt watching the game. So what you thought you saw on TV and live as well versus what you saw on the film, how'd you feel walking away about Mac Jones on Sunday?
So this MetLife was one of these rare stadiums, away stadiums, where my antenna actually worked and I could watch the game, at least the TV broadcast on delay from the live game, which is good because you can see the play on the field and you can look down at the TV monitor and see what's going on. So I was able to do a little bit of both. So I felt I was better positioned in real time to sort of judge what was going on. And I got to tell you, my feeling watching the game live, watching on TV, the way I was viewing it is I did not think Mac Jones played well. I thought he was really sped up. I thought he was making poor decisions. I thought that I was cursing Bill Belichick a little bit for, see, this is why you should have played him for a full half against the Bears to get him up to speed for this, because this was a different challenge, this Jets defense altogether. The Bears defense is good. This one's really good. And I'm watching it. I'm just like, I just felt like he couldn't get control of what was going on, and he just couldn't settle down and string a bunch of plays together. And my feeling was that, there was a lot of pressure, but it was really Max should be doing better with this. And then the pick six happened. And regardless of the penalty, which it was a legit penalty, the penalty didn't factor into the play. And actually, Holly said something on TV last night that I agree with, that if the penalty doesn't happen in the course of the play, then it should be a dead ball foul. Like, the play's over, like, really. And I mean, technically it's not, but anyways, that's a whole different topic. But including the pick six, and I was just thinking, oh my God, are they going to pull him? All right, maybe one series in the third quarter, and then Bill goes to Zappy. I just think I thought at that point Mac Jones was way too sped up from the pressure, and this happens. This is a real thing. I know people want to think that I invent these things or what, but I'm telling you, after over 20 years of watching this, I'm telling you this is real. Too much pressure quarterbacks can't come back from. I don't care who the quarterback is. I don't care if it's Mahomes. I don't care if it's Brady. We've seen Brady. This game reminded me a lot of Tom Brady against the Bets, Rex Ryan's defenses. Different looks, pressure. He's seeing ghosts. He's ducking in the pocket. It reminded me a little bit of that in real time. And with the pick six, I was like, oh my God, I don't know where he's throwing that. To me, live watching it, it was like he just saw a figure and just threw it because he knew he was about to get hit again. And I was just like, he's toast. He can't come back from this pressure. So that's what I thought in real time.
What did you think after watching the film? Did that change your thoughts and feelings?
So, and this is why I watched the film. There's no sound. There's no announcers. You just get the above view, sort of sideways of the field. So you see the quote unquote all 22 players. And then you get behind. You see the offensive line basically just outside the tackle boxes. And the way I watch film, I've mentioned it before, but basically every play is a game unto itself. There are winners and losers. Like, first of all, was it a successful play for the Patriots? And if it was, who deserves the credit? Who made the play? Was it a really nice called play? Was it really nice blocked? Individual effort? What have you? If it's a bad play, then you go back to the crux of it. Who was at fault? And that's what I do. And then at the end of the day, I say, well, this guy did better than he was required on this play, and that's a plus. Or he didn't do his job and it led to a negative play, or not a good play or a play that could have been better if it wasn't for that player, and he gets a minus. So trust me, I went into watching the film thinking, all right, I think I'm going to have to bury Mac Jones. And that's what I thought after seeing it live. Then I watched the film. At the end of the first half, and with some of the context that the film delivered, including the fourth down fail and the pick six, I came away not only thinking that Mac Jones played really well in that game, I thought he played very well. I was very impressed with the job that he did in that game, considering all the circumstances at play. And, not only did I think, not only did I think I thought he played well, at the end of the day, I was like, the Patriots should feel lucky that they had Mac Jones as their quarterback in this game among sort of the young quarterbacks in this league, because I'm not sure how many others could have navigated through this game. Was it perfect? No. Did he take sacks that he didn't need to? Yes. Did he almost throw an interception a couple of times? Yes. One was really more of his fault. The late one in the fourth quarter over the middle, that was dumb. He knew it. He immediately hit his helmet. But on a lot of other plays, and I'm sure, we'll talk about them, I thought circumstances were at play, including on the humongous pick six play, because, look, let's face it, that could have been a huge sliding doors play for that team if that flag doesn't come out. Is Bailey Zappi put in? How well does he play? Does Mac Jones ever get his job back? We'll never know, because the officials correctly threw the flag, and the Patriots were able to get points out of that drive instead of being down 14-3 going into halftime.
It was funny that you talk.
17-3.
Yeah. It's funny that you talk about how you felt watching the game in the first half live, because, I felt like he was okay. I thought he was pretty good. I didn't think he was great watching it live. I thought he was good because of the third down situations, which we'll get into later on. But I mean, the Patriots were facing 3rd and 10 on average throughout the entire first half, and he somehow found ways to extend those drives. And I think those are plays that some people will overlook. I want to ask you about, though, 2 plays specifically. First, the 4th and 1. A lot of people thought he had Hunter Henry quick on that play. And if he gets rid of the football, hits Henry, it's a first down, they move the chains. What did you see on that play? I thought and again, I'm a layman watching it, I felt as if Mac wasn't totally sure that Henry was ready for the football, and he hadn't really made himself available yet when Mac had the opportunity to let it go. And some of it is, yes, you've got to kind of lead your receiver, but I felt watching it over and over that he might not have felt like Henry was ready and available. What'd you think on the 4th and 1?
Great question. It was a key sort of play to me. And depending on the way you view it, you could look at what Mac Jones did on that play and be like, here's another example. He's a chicken with his head cut off. He sped up with the pressure. He didn't know what to do. So let's start with this on this play. I like the play from Matt Patricia. What I don't love about this play, this is something I would have liked to have saved until later in the season, because God damn, there's a lot going on in this play. For a guy who hasn't played in a month, who they can't block the front, they have good coverage people. So this is what the play is. The play is a legitimate run pass option play. And he has the option to give the run, which he faked. So he could do that, because you see Aguilar and Bourne at the bottom of the screen. They're run blocking. The line's run blocking. So that half of the team, or more than half of the team, thinks it's going to be a run. Depending on what the end does, Mac either gives it or takes it. The end crashed, so Mac takes it around the corner. Now, after deciding that, now he's got to decide, do I just throw it to Hunter Henry in the flat, or the home run play is actually Jacoby Myers coming in, and what it is, Jacoby Myers comes in like he's going to set a rub for Hunter Henry. And that's what the Patriots normally run in this situation. It's a similar concept that they scored on the touchdown on, where Hunter Henry picked Jacoby Myers. So not only does Mac Jones have to read the end and then pull it, and then he has to decide, all right, am I just going to naked bootleg and get the third down, which I think he had a thought of at first. But then the home run play is Jacoby Myers comes in to set the pick. If the Jets sort of get crunched and there's no safety over the top, I think, and I don't know this because I'm not in the room, but I think Jacoby Myers has the ability to fake the pick. It's just like in basketball. Sometimes they set the pick. Sometimes they fake the pick and then roll to the basket real quick. You see it with the Celtics all the time. I think Jacoby Myers had the option, if there was no safety over the top, which there wasn't, to fake the pick and roll and go deep, and it should have been a wide open touchdown. That's exactly what the Patriots got. Max saw it, was waiting for Jacoby Myers to roll, and he didn't. Instead, he spun around, and then Mac was like, oh, crap, now what do I do? Now I don't have Hunter Henry. Now I'm just getting rid of it. That was basically that play. And so, to me, it wasn't Mac's fault. If Jacoby Myers read that play correctly, in my opinion, and I'm telling you, it's not the gospel. I can tell you that much. But what I see on film, if he fakes the pick and rolls to the hoop, they have an alley-oop to Robert Williams.
You know, it's great. You know, it's a
they
great.
Might even call that the Big Rob. I bet you they call that the Big Rob or something.
It's a great breakdown for people to understand exactly all that goes into that play. And if you watch Mac is like waving Jacoby like, no, go. Like he's like, go, Jacoby, go.
Yeah.
And Jacoby doesn't react quick enough. The second play I wanted to ask you about, and you've mentioned it, of course, because it was a huge play, momentum swinging play at the end of the first half, was the almost should have been, could have been, maybe could have been, because the flag was the flag. The pick six, was that a miscommunication between Jacoby and Mac? Because Mac looked like he was throwing kind of like the out route, and Jacoby looked like he was sitting in and settling for that little, for that pass. Was there a miscommunication between those two guys? What actually happened during that, could have been pick six?
So I saw it as a miscommunication. I'm trying to find the play real quick, so maybe we can do a quick BSJ film room. I'm writing of just general area. Maybe I'll come to it. But anyway, so what happens is before the snap, the Jets show cover that they're going to be in cover 3. They have 2 deep safeties. They end up, I wish I could just find it, but God damn. Anyways, so basically what they do, and look, this plays on BSJ like 3 different times. I broke it down on Monday. It's also in my column that I posted today where I break down, I show you my work on why I thought Mac played well in the first half. So basically what happens is, the Patriots come out and the Jets look like they're in cover 2, okay? And they do play a lot of cover 2. After the snap, the Jets actually rotate into 3 high cover 3, but 3 high defensive backs. So it's very similar. If you remember the interception that Mac threw against the Bears, and I think Troy Aikman talked about it. The Bears showed 2 high safety. Then all of a sudden they rotated to a safety on 1/3, another safety in the middle, and then a cornerback rotated up top. So on this play, on Myers' side, the cornerback, the boundary cornerback, Myers is in the slot, and I think it's Thornton, could be Aguilar on the boundary. The boundary corner rotates into a safety position. So he's going to play over the top of Thornton there. On that play, if it's cover 3 like that, I think, and again, I'm just giving you my impression, my opinion on this play, that if it's cover 3, that means it's the Patriots term it middle of the field closed. If there's a safety in the middle of the field, then that determines the routes. If it's middle of the field open, then they run a different route. I think before the snap, and maybe Jacoby didn't track this during the play, he thought it was middle of the field open. And so he's basically just going to find a soft spot in the zone. Mac read it as middle of the field close, which I think calls for Jakobi Meyers to come up and go outside. Now, at the same time that Mac is looking for Meyers to go outside, Jakobi does an inside head fake. Mac thinks it's okay. Now he's going to go out. And basically,
right.
If he throws it to the sideline, Jakobi Meyers should be open. He should be able to turn the corner and he might get a block. He might even score. Right when Mac's ready to get rid of the ball, and it's like, all right, which way is Jakobi going to go? And he sees him lean left. He thinks, okay, he's going. So I'm going to throw it out there. Then all of a sudden he goes to throw and he sees Jakobi actually, that was a head fake. He's coming back inside. And now he's like, oh crap. Like it's too late to really do anything with the ball. And that's why it looks like it's thrown directly to the Jets defender. So in my opinion, I could be wrong. I thought that Mac Jones read the play correctly. Look, it still might have been picked off. The cornerback was in good position. He still could have undercut it. He could have read Mac. He could have done a pick six. But in my opinion, Jakobi Meyers read the coverage wrong, if the Patriots are still doing some of this stuff. And Mac Jones read it right, and that led to the pick six. So, maybe Bill Belichick, in terms of the way he talked about Mac Jones after the game, the way he talked to him on Monday after watching the film, maybe somebody told him that, or right after the play where it was just like Jakobi broke the wrong way. And so that's why he had some of the nice commentary. He said, I thought Mac played great after the game. So that's the way I saw that play.
That's why I ask you those questions, and that's why you watch the film, because if you're watching the game live and you're especially on Twitter and you're scrolling through the Twitterverse, everybody's wondering, what the hell is Mac seeing? What the hell is he doing? The fourth down play, he has Hunter Henry, the pick six, that's inexcusable. How can you throw that pass? He threw it right to the Jets. And here we are telling you this is why Greg watches the film and others watch the film, because when you watch the all 22, you figure out what Mac is looking at. And it doesn't mean that he's always excused. He makes mistakes like everybody else does. But those two big plays that everybody was talking about, Greg thinks, in his professional opinion, looking at the film, and especially I think you're right, the way Belichick spoke about Mac after the game and then yesterday,
Mac, and I made it a point. Stacey James had already said last question on the last question, but I made it a point. I was like, I asked another question because I was like, he has to be asked about the pick six. And so I asked him, and Mac termed it a miscommunication. So that gives me further evidence. And on the TV copy, trust me, I was looking at the TV copy like everybody, like, what the hell is he doing? Who is he throwing at? And the thing is, the TV copy, they never showed an above angle. And you couldn't see the safeties on the play. So you weren't sure exactly what coverage the Jets were in. And that's why the film gives you the proper context.
Yeah, I thought, Greg, you mentioned it. If Greg is right, then Jakobi really messed up both of those plays. He didn't read it correctly. And CBS, I thought, with the replays, they didn't show enough of them on several plays, and they didn't show good enough angles, even on the McCourty pick. You couldn't really tell if he was inbounds or out of bounds, one of the two picks. All right, let's look at the offensive line. That was another part of this game. And the pressure. Some people thought Mac held on to the football too long. Some people thought the offensive line was trash. I thought it was a combination of both, depending on the play. But what did you see from the offensive line and that pressure they gave up consistently?
It was atrocious. I mean, I had them giving up, I think it was 48.9% pressure. I mean, almost every other snap.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, that for a game that Mac Jones has started and finished, or basically played the entire game, like basically taking out the Bears game, it was the most he's ever faced. He did face 50% pressure the week before in his 3 series against the Bears, where he was getting tossed around. Look, you have to consider that in what you saw on Sunday, because trust me when I tell you, Tom, from watching Tom and going over the film, evaluating Tom, for pocket quarterbacks who aren't exactly comfortable, like moving around, like a Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, like, created pressure. He just ran around and could do those things. Mahomes does the same things at times. Pocket quarterbacks, once you get into the 30s, especially the mid 30s, that's a little bit too much pressure. You're talking about like pipes could start to burst a little bit. Once you get over 40%, you're now talking about wins and losses being on the line. That if you can't blame, in my opinion, you're like, the guy didn't have a chance. What do you expect? That's why they lost the game. There were games like this for Brady. Like I said, some of the Jets games, those were a little bit more of coverage and causing Brady a bit confusion. This wasn't quite that. This was just the Patriots getting manhandled up front. They got completely manhandled, especially Cole Strange, the two right tackles, James Ferentz at times, even though overall he was decent in this game, not in the running game. He can't get any movement. He's just a smaller guy, but like not having David Andrews out there, you pair James Ferentz and Cole Strange together, and you're talking about two really undersized players for their positions in the NFL, and the Jets are just, they got some big, strong boys. And remember all the talk that, we had about like, hey, look, Cole Strange looks pretty good, but I worry about him as a rookie because he's a little light in the britches against some of the bigger defensive tackles. Well, that was this game, because there were times where the Jets were just taking them and being like, excuse me, young man, please get out of my way. I'm going to the quarterback to kill your quarterback. And that happened at times. It was untenable. So I thought you have to consider that. And, for those of you who want to live in fantasy land, who want to say that Bailey Zappi is calmer, he would have dealt with this better. Like maybe on a few plays he would have, but over the course of a game, I'm sorry, but Bailey Zappi would have been in the fetal position by the second quarter. Like, sucking his thumb, calling for mommy, because this was just ridiculous. And in addition to that, the Patriots, and this is some of the pressure was the Patriots invited it on themselves. And the reason I say that is because the Patriots basically went into this game with two choices to make. Do we go out of our way to protect Mac? But then we only have like two or three guys going out in the routes against a team that already covers really well.
Right.
Like how are we going to move the ball then? Or do we spread things out, go more shotgun, empty at times, maybe some one back, but really he's going to go out in the route? They did not keep – sometimes they chipped. When they really wanted to play, they double chipped on the end. That was about the most that they did in this game. Sometimes they kept Hunter Henry in. But they really decided for the most part, look, Mac, we're putting it on you. If we keep everybody in the block, you're not going to have anybody to cover to throw to. At least you have a chance to do it, and we're going to trust you to deal with the pressure and sort it out and get us to move the ball enough. And I think at the end of the day, I thought Mac Jones did really well that way, and that's why I say you're lucky to have him as your young quarterback as opposed to the guy on the other sideline, because there are not many young quarterbacks 20-plus games into their rookie second season that could deal with what the Patriots did him, with the pressure that was generated, and play winning football. There's really not that many.
A lot was on his plate, and Jacoby, again, if you read the film correctly, miscalculated on a couple of those big swing plays that could have really cost the Patriots. But all in all, against a good defense and a really good defensive front, Mac played well, especially given all the circumstances, like the lack of reps he's had coming off of the injury, what happened on Monday night against Chicago, the short week. When we talk about his mental toughness and, his ability to kind of put things away and compartmentalize, I think he showed a lot of that on Sunday. A part of it, Greg, was his performance on third down, especially in the first half. As I mentioned a little bit ago, the Patriots were facing, on average, like more than 10 yards to gain on third downs in the first half. Yet they were like 6 for 8 at one point, I believe, on third down. What'd you see from Mac on those pivotal third down plays, especially in that first half?
Yeah, I thought he was great overall on third down. Look, it wasn't perfect, and I will tell you so the one play that I had, it wasn't a third down play. Sorry for the tangent here, but I just wanted to point out while it was in my head. The one play that I did have Mac as a definite minus, and there are other plays that people could argue with. If you're a BSJ member, which this is why you pay the $40 for the whole entire year in all the Boston sports so you can know more than your buddies in terms of what's going on with the Patriots. The first throw to Devontae Parker on the slant, you can quibble with that. You can, you could say that's a minus. It could have been placed better. I still think the coverage was too good. The first and goal that they had where he took a sack, it was 3-point-something seconds. Mac has to get rid of the ball, in my opinion. Now, does he have a built-in excuse? Yeah. He had Hunter Henry one-on-one with, I think, Sauce Gardner, and Sauce Gardner basically hugged Hunter Henry all the way down the field. It should have been flagged. It wasn't. And so Mac was, he had one-on-one. Nobody was helping. He was just waiting for Hunter to break loose. So he kept waiting and waiting and waiting. And then it was too late. And when he did have something in the flat, really what he should have done was either go through with it and just throw it and hope that Hunter Henry dislodges at the last second, which he did. And if he puts it on and it's a touchdown. So I gave him a minus on that play. But third downs, I thought he was great. And I thought that's a big reason why watching it back, I was like, God, he's keeping plays alive. I mean, all of them were at least 3rd and 5. So 3rd and 10, one of his best throws, dime throw to Myers coming across the field where he's not open when Mac releases it. That's an elite NFL throw that Bailey Zappi does not make. I'm sorry, he doesn't. 3rd and 11, look, hat tip to Matt Patricia. Really nice call. Jacoby Myers coming on a little drag and then actually by design having Hunter Henry and Ramondre Stevenson block down for him so he can get around the corner for the 3rd down. Great design on that. 3rd and 5. Jones had a really good scramble. All his scrambles, I thought, were the right play. People weren't readily open, and he made plays. 3rd and 5. Stevenson, 3rd and 8. I didn't give Mac a plus for this. It was 22 yards, but Stevenson's runs the James White arrow route. Good call by everybody. Good execution by Stevenson. Another 3rd and 5. Good scramble. 3rd and 7. Another good Patricia call where Jonnu Smith catches a little check down and runs around the end for a very similar play to the other one. So I thought, yes, I completely agree with you, Nick. One of the reasons why I was more impressed watching it back and getting more context as far as Mac Jones's first half was how good he was on 3rd down. Because if they don't come through in a lot of those instances, it could have gotten ugly real quick.
Before we get to the defense, let's talk Athletic Greens.
Yes, we should actually do that. And I need to look for my copy for a second, but I have it. Yeah. Okay. I started taking AG1 because I wanted to make sure I was getting all the vitamin and nutritional supplements I needed in one place. Now I've been on it for like 4 months, and I love it. It doesn't taste like it's super healthy. It has kind of a mild tropical taste, a little minty, and I actually look forward to it each morning. So what is this stuff? With one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source ingredients, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. The special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging, all the things you're looking for. I take it first thing in the morning. It's part of my routine, and I would be lost without it. I love how it contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals or artificial anything while still tasting good. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just 1 scoop and a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/Bedard. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/Bedard to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
All right, well, when we watch this football game from the Patriots defensive standpoint, the question is, Greg, how much of it was the Patriots defense and how much was it Zach Wilson peeing down his leg?
Equal parts. I think we talked coming into this was going to be a battle of not good offensive lines and lines that are dealing with injuries. The Jets more than the Patriots. The Jets are down 3 starters on the offensive line, and that was a significant factor. Even Dwayne Brown at left tackle, old man Dwayne Brown, he was not good. in this game. And it wasn't like Dietrich Wise was like, Lawrence Taylor or anything like that. He just wasn't good. But I think that it was equal parts, because the Patriots did their part. I thought they did it. Look, I think they definitely learned their lessons from the Bears game, where they were pretty crappy in terms of their rush lanes, discipline, defending the edge in the run. It looks like somebody got that ass this week in meetings, because they were on point in this game in terms of they did a really good job pressuring Zach Wilson, but also staying in front of him and getting him to back up and do Zach Wilson things. What you saw on Sunday, Zach Wilson dancing around and going backwards and just throwing the ball, he does that every week. And he did it a lot more before their winning streak, and especially last year. But he still does it all the time. So that's not unique to the Patriots. But I did think that they were very disciplined in the rush. They did what they had to do to get Zach Wilson to be bad Zach Wilson. And I thought that was really good.
Jabril Peppers, let's talk about him for a minute here. He got on Sunday 68% of the snaps or so. So we saw a lot of Peppers out there. Obviously, Kyle Duggar was out of the game. And as we've seen in the past, especially in that Baltimore game, when Kyle Duggar doesn't play, the Patriots have a serious issue defending the tight end position. That happened again on Sunday. But what'd you make of Jabril Peppers and what you saw from him?
Holy cow. I mean, my first reaction, like watching him on film, was I don't know where the number 3 guy that was out there in training camp was, because that ain't him. Like, did they import somebody else? Is he on some souped up Athletic Greens or what? Because that dude was flying around the field and with superhuman strength and really fast and like explosive. And I was like, holy crap. And so I thought he was terrific in this game. And it wasn't just the defense. Now, it wasn't just the defense. I mean, he had a crushing one-on-one block on the final punt return. I mean, he basically suplexed the dude. Now, you know more about wrestling than I do. I don't know if that's the correct move. He also recovered the onside kick. And so, like, it was a Jabril Peppers game, and it was his world, and we were all living in it. Now, this is what I'll say about Jabril. Once Kyle Duggar comes back, I haven't figured it out yet, and I'm sure the coaches are trying to figure out, and they're a lot smarter than I am about this stuff. But, like, how do you fit both of those guys on the field, and what do they do? It's just tough because, like, Jabril definitely has a role on this team, but he's really small. And so, like, you'd love to say, all right, he's your sub linebacker. Like, and maybe you do that in 3rd and long in more instances, but the Patriots are bad enough right now in their zone defense as far as the linebackers and coverage. And, if you put a small safety out there, in addition to let the guy throw over the top of him even easier, I think that's a rough go. But it's a good tool to have in the chest for sure.
He murdered that dude on the Marcus Jones punt return. He just obliterated him. When watching this game, what still keeps you up at night defensively?
So the linebackers in zone coverage, the linebackers in coverage in general, and it's all of them. It's Bentley, it's Tavai, it's Raekwon McMillan, who again looked like a chicken with his head cut off. He only played 9 snaps, so when he was out there, he didn't know which way was up. Mac Wilson, at least they found him a role like spying Zach Wilson, where it limited the amount of damage he could do out there. But they're really bad in coverage. And, if they play a mobile quarterback, I'm sure a lot of people are like, why are they playing zone? Why are they doing this? When you play a mobile quarterback, you have to play more zone than you really want to. The Patriots are a man cover team. They still are. They still do it really well. But if you're facing like a Josh Allen or Justin Fields or Zach Wilson, if you play too much man, you turn your back. When you're playing man, you turn your back to the quarterback. And as soon as we've even seen Mac Jones do that sometimes, and he's not Justin Fields or anything like that. As soon as they turn their backs, you can run for 10, 15 yards. And so you have to play zone. You have to keep eyes on the quarterback so you can react to their movement. And the Patriots, when they play zone against mobile quarterbacks, they're not good in coverage. And so, that's an issue. I think the run defense is still an issue in terms of gap control and, coverage on the tight ends without Duggar out there is an issue as far as, what I see so far.
Okay. 3 up, Greg, for you coming off of Sunday against the Jets.
Okay, real quick, and these will probably be pretty self-evident. Ramondre Stevenson, boss. Jabril Peppers,
beast.
Goddamn. And, I'll split it. I have Matthew Judon here because he played slightly less snaps, I think. But Judon and Wise, they basically got all the pressure in the game. So those are my 3 up, 4 up, whatever.
How about the Fulkin kicker, huh? MVP Nick Folk. He's an animal out there, Greg. He's kicking field goals from 42, from 50. That guy is a killer. He's an assassin. Nick Folk's on my list. 3 down.
Cole Strange. Not good. Got benched. Got manhandled. He didn't give it up as much pressure as Marcus Cannon. But Cole Strange was worse in the running game, so that's why Cole Strange got it instead of Marcus Cannon, who was next. 8.5 quarterback pressures allowed. Holy cow.
Oh, my
that's
God.
A lot. And then Joshua Bledsoe. And then Joshua Bledsoe, I feel bad. He didn't play a lot of snaps, but he did give up 1.5 touchdowns. The first touchdown, great throw and catch. It's still on him. And then the last touchdown, I split with him and Miles Bryant. Miles Bryant should have helped a little bit better, but at the end of the day, it was Bledsoe. That was the trickle down from not having Duggar. That Bledsoe had to be in there against the tight end.
Yeah, Strange. Not ideal, Cole. Not an ideal Sunday afternoon from you, my friend.
He's had his 2 worst games the last 2 weeks. He's not benching potential, but it's something to watch.
They pulled them for this game, at least in stretches. So they're at least contemplating if they have to do that from time to time. All right, let's get to the BSJ member question of the day. Of course, $39.99 on the annual plan. You get all the Boston sports coverage. You get Greg's film. You get Greg's weekly chats as well. What's the question of the day, Greg?
So basically, it's like a lot of my members asked, all right, so what the hell do we do with the offensive line at this point? And it's a great question. I'll probably write something more on it this week as I think a little bit more. But I don't think they can sustain with Isaiah Wynn or Marcus Cannon at right tackle. So maybe I'm revisiting the Owenu thing. I'd hate to move him because he's the best lineman on the team right now, even though Trent Brown's pretty damn good too. Owenu's certainly been their most consistent lineman. But in terms of what do I think makes them the best 5 on the field, I think it might be Owenu at right guard, Wynn at right tackle, Wynn at right guard, Andrews at center, of course, Strange at left guard. Just coach him up a little bit more. That's where I think a lot of these issues are. Some of them are physical, especially with Marcus Cannon. He's just old. I warned you about his foot speed getting into his kick slide on pass protection. Sometimes he just can't get to the spot, and that happened at times this weekend where he's just not fast enough. And teams are going to see that on film, and they're going to go after it if they stick with him. But I do think some of the issues on this offensive line are coaching related, and this is what you get when you make your offensive coordinator your offensive line coach as well. Again, my criticism is not about Matt Patricia. It's about putting too much on his plate, and we talked about it. You can't do both. You can't be an offensive coordinator and an offensive lineman. There's too much shit going on. And I think Matt Patricia stood a chance to be good at one of them. But when you combine both of them, you're setting him and the team up for failure.
Yeah, somebody told me recently, I've been doing 2 full-time jobs in Sacramento, and somebody said, you can do 2 full-time jobs, but can you do 2 full-time jobs well? That's the question. And can you do both of those jobs well for Matt Patricia? It's a no. So that's absolutely a part of the conversation. I wonder if Kajust can get involved as well. Can he kind of find his way on the field coming back I don't know. It's not a great situation. He's Greg. I'm Nick. It's the Greg Bedard Patriots Podcast with Nick Cattles, brought to you by Athletic Greens, 75 high-quality vitamins to help you start your day right. We'll be back later this week to preview the Colts, who just fired their offensive coordinator, who doesn't call the plays. Yes, Frank Reich is looking for that scapegoat. We'll get to that team a little bit later this week. Until then, be good, be safe, and be healthy.